Voir dire, Day 2. The Court. At this time, the Court calls State of Wisconsin versus Stephen Avery, case number 05CF381. We're here this morning for the second day of the individual voir dire. Will the parties state their appearances for the record, please? Attorney Kratz. State by Ken Kratz and Tom Fallon. Judge. Attorney Strang. Stephen Avery in person, Jerome Buting and Dean Strang representing. Please note, we will not be reading page 4, line 10 to page 8, line 19, as it is regards to other jury members and that were not selected for trial. So we will be scrolling through those pages. If you would like to see those pages, please visit the Foul Play website. If there's nothing else, we will bring in Mr. Nelesen at this time. All right. Mr. Nelesen, at this time, the clerk will administer the oath to you. The clerk. Will you raise your right hand, please? Juror sworn. The clerk. Please be seated. The court. Mr. Nelesen, you have already completed a jury questionnaire in this case. This morning, we're moving on to the next phase of jury selection, in which individual voir dire. In a minute, the attorneys for each of the parties will be able to ask you some follow-up questions to the information that you included in your questionnaire. I will let you know that the jurors selected to hear this case will not be sequestered during the jury. That is, you will be permitted to return home at the end of every court session. And we're able to do that because of the requirement that the jurors not learn anything during the course of the trial from the news media regarding this case. So the instruction that the jurors are not to read any newspapers, watch any television accounts, listen to the radio, or read anything on the internet, or talk to anyone else about the case will continue throughout the trial. I also want you to know that although the court proceedings today are open to the public, no cameras are permitted in the courtroom during voir dire, and members of the news media are not permitted to identify the jurors by name at any time. In addition, should you be selected to serve as a juror, you should know that during the course of the trial, the cameras in the courtroom are not permitted to show the faces of the jurors or show anything that would identify the jurors in any way to any viewers. In the event you remain a juror following questioning today, you will get a telephone call within the next few days letting you know when to report back to court. At this time, then, Mr. Fallon, you may begin your questioning. Voir dire examination by Attorney Fallon. Question. Good morning, Mr. Nelesen. Answer. Good morning. Question. My name is Tom Fallon, and I am an Assistant Attorney General for the state of Wisconsin, and I'm one of the prosecutors in this case. To my left is Mr. Kratz, the lead prosecutor, and he's the Calumet County District Attorney. Thank you for coming this morning. Sorry we kept you late last night. Answer. That's all right. Question. We'll do our best to get you in and out of here this morning. I wanted to start with a few questions from the information you provided in your questionnaire. And first of all, ask you a couple of questions regarding your employment. And I see you are a mechanic at the transport company. Answer. Correct. Question. How long have you been employed there as a mechanic? Answer. Almost 2 years. Question. 2 years? Answer. Yes. Question. Prior to that, any other employment? Answer. Yeah. I worked as a mechanic in Appleton for a year, and previously I worked at the same company I do now for about a little under 4 years. Question. Okay. The reason I ask is, if you were to be selected as a jury, As a juror, for the jury, the case may very well take 6 weeks or so to try, which means you may very well be not reporting to work for 6 weeks. And I just wanted to make sure. On the last question of the questionnaire, you expressed that you didn't think there would be any particular hardship for you. So we wanted to make sure that was the case, that if you were selected as a juror, this wouldn't be any kind of economic hardship. Is that still the case? Answer. Well, I think for anybody with going without wages for, that period of time, I think that would pose some type of a problem, I would think. My savings account would probably be drained, but I don't think I would. I don't think I would die because of it. I don't think I would starve to death because of it. Question. All right. But do you? You do have a concern as to whether or not you would have sufficient income to meet your expenses. Answer. Oh, definitely, yeah. I would say so. I have bills like anyone else, loan repayments that I do have to make, just like anyone else. Question. All right. Answer. And I would, like I said, I would think hopefully that I would have enough in my savings to, be able to make those payments for that amount of time. But I probably wouldn't have anything left, for some other bills, I wouldn't think. Question. Have you conferred with your employer as to whether there would be any compensation forthcoming at all if you were? Answer. He hasn't got back to me as of yet. Question. All right. So it's still somewhat of an open question. Answer. Yeah. I would think so. Yeah. Question. All right. If perchance in the next couple of days, if you hear anything more on that, would you be so kind as to advise the court personnel of that, and will certainly take that into consideration? Answer. Okay. Sure. I can do that. Question. Thank you. The next bit of information that you provided of some interest for the parties here is the fact that you are at least somewhat familiar with the Avery salvage yard. Answer. Yeah, a little bit. I have purchased a couple of car parts from there in the past. Question. All right. How often would you say you have frequented the yard? Answer. I think I was probably there maybe 3 times. Question. During these occasions that you're at the salvage yard, did you wander through the yard and the property at all, or were you just basically... Answer. No, I wasn't allowed to. Question. You weren't allowed to? You were just at the office? Answer. Just went in the front office there. Asked for the part that I needed, and they got it. And... Question. All right. Answer. I just bought it and left. Question. When was the most recent or the last time you were there conducting some business at the salvage yard? Answer. I would say probably 5 or 6 years ago. Question. All right. Do you recall meeting any of the people there or recognize any of the names? Answer. No, I don't recognize any of the names. Question. All right. On each of the occasions, your business was limited to the office area. Answer. Yes. Question. Okay. With respect to your news sources, could you tell us where you, if you were to, you checked a number of potential news sources from radio to television, newspapers, neighbours, and things of that sort? If you were to think about it now, what would you say is the medium in which you get most of your information? Answer. I would probably say the newspaper. Question. The newspaper? Okay. Do you regularly read the paper? Answer. Not regularly, no. I would say 2 to 3 times a week. Question. Okay. Have you been following this particular case with any interest in newspaper or television? Answer. I have read about it, but I haven't really followed it with any interest. Question. All right. Have you watched any of the television coverage of this case? Answer: Yeah, I have seen a little bit of it in the past. You know, just what they had on the news and whatnot. Question: On the news? Answer: Yeah. Question: Have you watched any of the actual courtroom proceedings on television or throughout the internet? Answer: No, I have not. Question: Okay. Now, in the question as to whether you have formed any opinions based on the information that's been available in the media and elsewhere, you would say, well, from what I have read, I would think that he was guilty, but I'm sure that there is more to the case that I don't know about. Answer: That is correct. Question: All right. Is that your heartfelt opinion as you sit here today? Answer: I would say from what I have read, I think any, any person would, tend to, think. Think that he were guilty through the information provided in newspapers and whatnot, where I got my information. I think anyone would probably think that. Question: All right. Now the next question that was asked in the questionnaire, and I think the one the court and the parties are most interested in, is whether any of those opinions that you have formed as a result of information obtained in the media could be set aside if you were selected as a juror, and you could decide this case just on what information is presented in court. Answer: I would like to think that I could, but I wouldn't guarantee that I could actually do that. Question: All right. All right. That's a perfectly understandable and honest response, I think. The question then becomes although you are not 100% sure, is what you wrote here, are you certainly willing to listen to the instructions of the judge? Answer: Oh, definitely. Question: Excuse me. And if you were instructed that your duty as a juror, as it were, is to decide the case based solely on the information contained or presented at trial, you would make your best effort to do that? Answer: Yes, I would. Question: All right. Is there any other reason personal, philosophy, conscience, religious reasons, any other reasons that you are aware of, causes you to doubt whether you could give us your best effort and follow the instruction? Answer: I would say a little bit of conscience. Question: Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. What concern do you have there? Answer: Well, it's a big decision to make. Question: All right. Answer: And it's nothing I would take lightly, and it's a very difficult decision. Question: All right. Answer: It's not the fact that I wouldn't say it would be that I would be very nervous about it, but it's just not like anything taken lightly. It's not somebody didn't just, steal a candy bar from the gas station or anything. That would be taken lightly. This is a serious issue. Question: All right. Answer: And I think anyone would, have a little conscience about it. Question: All right. So could I infer, or could the court and the parties infer, that because this is a matter of grave importance, a very weighty matter, that you would give us your best effort in following the instructions that were given to you? Answer: Yes. Question: All right. You indicated that you do have a friend who is a police officer. Is that correct? Answer: That's correct. Question: All right. And who would that be? Answer: Officer David Flamel. Question: David? Answer: Flamel. Question: Okay. Attorney Buting. I'm sorry. Fleming? Mr. Nelesen. Flamel. Question by Attorney Fallon. All right. And how do you know Officer Flamel? Answer: He lives down the street from me. Question: All right. Do you regularly get together with him and discuss the world's events, as it were, or just? Answer: No, not really. We pretty much just talk motorsports. Question. About what? Sports? Answer. Motorsports and stuff like that. Question. Motorsports. Yes, I see you're a stock car fan. Is he as well? Answer. I used to race motocross and he is into motocross. Question. Motocross? Answer. Yeah. Question. All right. So we talk about that a lot. Question. All right. How often do you get together with Officer Flamel? Answer. I would say I talk to him every 3 weeks to a month. Question. Okay. Do your conversations ever get to the more serious matters, such as a case like this or criminal justice issues in general, or anything like? Answer. No, that's just his job. We just talk on a friend's personal level. Question. Okay, so do you think that your acquaintance with Officer Flamel would in any way impact your ability to be fair and impartial in this case? Answer. No, that wouldn't affect it. Question. What? Answer. No, that wouldn't affect it. Question. Okay, thank you. Do you have any close friends or relatives that are currently working in the news industry? Answer. Not that I'm aware of, no. Question. Okay. Do you own a computer? Answer. Yes, I do. Question. All right. Do you occasionally surf the internet? Answer. Yeah, I look for race car stuff on the internet. Question. All right. Do you ever use the internet to get some more information regarding news stories or events that are current events? Answer. No. Question. All right. Have you looked at any of the coverage or information regarding this case on the internet? Answer. No, I have not. Question. All right. In terms of this case, can you recall for us, as best you can, what you do remember or think you know about the case from the media coverage, at least as it pertains to Mr. Avery? Answer. I can't remember a whole lot. Just let me think about this for a second. Can you be a little more descriptive as to what you are asking? Question. Well, let's see. Do you remember any press conferences or original arrest reports involving Mr. Avery or any other person's association with? Answer. I don't remember any arrest reports or anything like that. I didn't really read that much into it. Question. Okay. Answer. Pretty much just looked at on the front page, read a little bit of it, wasn't really interested in it. Question. Okay. Answer. Went on to the next thing. Question. Would it be fair to say you don't really have any strong opinions about the guilt or innocence? Answer. I have my opinions. Question. Okay. Well, tell us. Let's talk about that. What? What are your opinions? Answer. Like I stated in the questionnaire, my opinions from what I have gotten, from what I have read, I think, would tend to, for anyone to think that he was guilty. Question. All right. Answer. I think that's pretty much just human nature, but that's all that they read. Question. Okay. Answer. Or all that I read, I should say. Question. All right. Answer. I read a little bit up on it as far as, what had actually happened, a little bit of the information about the vehicle and blood found in the vehicle. I had read some about that. Question. All right. Answer. And that he had weapons in his house, things like that. Question. All right. Any other particular details that stand out in your mind at the moment? Answer. No, not really that stand out in my mind. Question. All right. Are you familiar at all with the circumstances regarding the arrest of a fellow by the name of Dassey? Answer. Yeah, I have heard a little bit about him. Question. All right. And what do you recall about that? Answer. I recall that he was questioned and admitted that he was involved with it and he had contributed in the crime as well. Question. All right. Do you remember any particular details regarding statements that he made? Answer. Um, not, not any real details. Question. All right. Answer. Just that he was pretty much just involved. Question. All right. Okay. I note from your questionnaire that you don't have any prior jury service, but I did want to ask if there anything as you sit here today and think about your own philosophy or conscience or personal beliefs or any religious beliefs, is there anything in that area that you might think might give you a problem or make it difficult for you to be a juror in this case? Answer. I would say for anyone it would be a difficult thing. Just as I stated before, it's not a matter to be taken lightly. Question. All right. Answer. And I think it's a very big decision and it would bother me. Yeah. Question. All right. I think I probably did not artfully ask that question. I understand it would be difficult. I guess what I'm driving at is there any firm personal beliefs that you hold that, for instance, you could not sit in judgment of another person and assess their guilt or innocence based on the information provided? Answer. No, I think I could do that. Question. Okay. In your profession as a mechanic, have you ever been called upon to participate in writing any safety guidelines or enforcing any safety standards for work as a mechanic? Answer. Sure, I have. I have to do a lot of safety stuff, make sure people are doing their job in a correct manner and not doing something that's, going to get them or someone else hurt. Question. All right. Do you enjoy that work? Answer. Sure. Yes. Question. And why is that? Answer. I enjoy being a mechanic and I enjoy working with others and I enjoy helping people out when they, need help with something. Question. Is there any type of satisfaction that you derive from ensuring that you have a safe work environment for yourself and others? Answer. Yeah, I would say so. Question. Okay. How long have you been a resident of Manitowoc County? Answer. All my life. Question. All right. How would you rate the job that the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department is doing in your community in terms of dealing with crimes or servicing the public in other ways? Good, bad, fair, excellent? Answer. I would say they do a good job. Question. Okay. Any particular experiences that you have had or anything in particular that helps you reach that opinion? Answer. No, I don't really have any reason why I reached that opinion. I just think. Question. I'm sorry, I couldn't? Answer. I don't really have any reasons. I would think that they do a fairly good job. Question. That's your perception of things? Answer. Yeah. Question. Okay. Since you are a mechanic and interested in automobiles, have you ever used a publication such as Auto Trader to buy or sell a car? Answer. I used Car Soup to try to sell a car, but it didn't sell. So, question. You used what? Answer. Car Soup. Carsoup.com. Question. Okay. Answer. I used that to try to sell a car, but it didn't sell, so other than that, nothing, no. Question. Didn't have much luck? Answer. No. Question. Are you familiar with the publication Auto Trader? Answer. Yeah, I've seen it. Question. Okay. In terms of your approach to making a decision or, for instance, writing your safety guidelines or making such policy decisions like that, would you consider yourself a detail-orientated person or a big picture person? Or answer. I would say I get into some detail. Yeah. Question. All right. And are you a moviegoer? Answer. I would say no. Question. All right. Have you ever seen or heard of a movie called The Thin Blue Line? Answer, no, I haven't. Question, okay. Attorney Fallon, that's all I have. Thank you. The Court, Mr. Strang. Attorney Strang, thank you. Voir dire examination by Attorney Strang. Question, okay. Sir, you've seen us all stand up awkwardly in front of a group, a room full of people. But I'm Dean Strang, this is Jerome Buting and Steve Avery. We're the defence lawyers. Answer, okay. Question, how do I pronounce your last name? Answer, Nelesen. Nelesen. Question, Nelesen? Answer, yes. Question, okay, thanks. The place you're living now, you have been in about 7 months? Answer, what was that? Question, the place you are living now, you have been in that house about 7 months? Answer, yeah, I would say yes. Question, do you rent or own? Answer, I actually live with my parents. Question, okay. Answer, right now. Question, okay. Answer, yes. Question, and had you been in a place of your own before that? Answer, yeah, I lived with my girlfriend. Question, and are you, don't need to know reasons or anything, but are you looking to move back into a place of your own soon or? Answer, yes, this is, where I'm living right now is a temporary. Question, okay, so does that, where I'm going with that really, does this contribute to your concern about building up a savings account a little bit or getting, having? Answer, yeah, I'm in the process of trying to purchase a house right now. Question, okay, all right. So let's sort of go from 0 to 100 in about 6 seconds here. It's not just that the trial may last 6 weeks, okay? But at the end of the trial, and we can more or less guess how long the evidence and arguments might go, but at the end of the trial, the people left on the jury have to deliberate. Answer, correct. Question, and there's no way to know how long that will go. Answer, no. Question, only those 12 people, and they don't know because it's a matter of you are not done until you, ideally until all 12 agree on the verdicts for however many charges you are considering. Answer, okay. Question, so we have none of us have any way of predicting how long that would go. And my concern, since that comes at the very end, is that, would the deliberations and sticking it through and working through the evidence as long as it took be something you could do when you're already at the end of 5 or 6 weeks of being out of work? You see what I'm worried about? Answer, I didn't really take that into consideration. I wasn't aware that it was going to be that much of it at a time. I had heard and I was told that it could take up to a month, but I didn't really consider that there was added time at the end of it. Question, and I have no way of knowing. Answer, that makes matters a little bit different, yeah. Question, okay, I'm not trying to suggest that they would, go on indefinitely. Answer, it could take a week or 6 months is what you are saying. Question, or 10 minutes, but none of us have, and you don't have any way of knowing. Answer, right. Question, because it's, deliberations about 12 people trying to agree on things that, involve looking back over 4 or 5, 6 weeks of evidence. And I have noticed that you are very empathetic in the sense of, that the problems you say everybody would have. Anybody would feel this is a tough decision and all that. Answer, right. Question, but right now it is sort of about you and whether you really would be putting yourself in a hole by getting into this. Answer, I would, definitely. But if that's what I'm asked to do, then I guess that's what I'm asked to do. Question, okay. I wanted to hear a little more about what you really like about being a mechanic. What lights you up about it? I mean, your hobby ties into that pretty closely with stock car racing. Answer, oh, definitely. And that's one thing that would go down the tubes too, so that's another consideration of mine. Question, what do you mean by go down the tubes? I'm sorry, Mr. Nelson. Answer, stock car racing is pretty expensive. Question, oh, okay. Answer, and I have worked pretty hard to be able to afford it. Question, right. Answer, and it takes a good percentage of my money to do that. Question, you actually race? Answer, yes, I do. Question, okay, are you the driver? Answer, yes, I am. Question, okay, and you know, up here, I meaning up here in the northern part of the country. Answer, yeah. Question, I associate that with being a seasonal sort of a sport, but do you travel around to places where it's warmer? Answer, no, I don't. It pretty much just regional. Question, okay, and how, in terms of the season for that, how much of an expense is coming up in February, March? Answer, a great deal of the expense. Question, tell me about that. Answer, well, as far as, to give you an example, in the class that I race, I'm looking at trying to come up with $6,000 to $8,000 for just one engine. So that's a great deal of money for me to come up with. And I have been saving up for it for quite a long time, probably halfway through last year, and all winter I have been saving up for that. Question, is this the time of year where you're in the garage at night? Answer, all the time. Question, getting the car ready for May? Answer, yeah, exactly. Question, okay, so you're spending the money now? Answer, oh yeah, faster than it's coming in, yeah. Question, and any purse or any winnings you might get? Answer, that all goes right back into the operation. Question, and those wouldn't come until the warmer weather? Answer, correct. Question, okay, so back to what, what lights you up about being a mechanic? Answer, I just like to work with my hands. It's just something about cars, something about engines that just, I think each person has something that they can just get into, get involved with, and forget about all the stress in their lives. And when I'm working on things like that, my stress just goes away. Question, it goes away? Answer, yeah. Question, and yet you also like working with people? Answer, yeah. I get along with, I like to talk a lot. Question, mm-hmm. Answer, and I, question, me too. Answer, and yeah, I just like to talk a lot and I like to get along with people, meet different people. Question, mm-hmm. Answer, it's just, I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just part of my personality. Question, why would it be right or wrong? Answer, I don't know, that's... Question, yeah? Answer, it's just part of my personality. Question, okay. So is it the actual physical labor having your hands in the, you know? Answer, oh, definitely. Question, that you like as opposed to, the math of... Answer, oh, no. Question, adjusting a carburetor or whatever? Answer, no, I'm terrible at math. Question, okay. Answer, but it's just getting in there and trial and error and doing those things. It's a challenge to see if I can do what needs to be done to go faster. That's pretty much all it is a challenge. Question, is this something where sort of cutting and scraping your hands up is a regular part of life for you? Answer, oh yeah, definitely yeah. Question, you have got band-aids around? Answer, well, I usually don't wear band-aids, just dirt gets in there and I just leave it, keep working. I have pretty much done it my whole life, so I'm used to that. Question, okay, the 3 times you've been out to our Avery Auto Salvage? Answer, mm-hmm. Question, that was just looking for parts for cars you were working on? Answer, yeah, just just street-driven cars that I had at the time. Question. And are there other auto salvage yards in the area you have snooped around, shopped at? Answer. Sure, definitely. Question. Poked around? Answer. Yes. Question. Pretty much all of them in the area, or is it unusual? Answer. Yeah, I would say probably 75% of them in the area. Question. How about Norbs in Denmark? Answer. No, not that far away. I haven't gone that far away. Question. But in like the immediate Manitowoc? Answer. Yeah, the immediate Manitowoc area. Question. And I gathered from what you said to Mr. Fallon that you don't have any memory of who it was you dealt with at the Avery yard. Answer. No, I don't. I don't know who it was. Question. Or even... Answer. Just somebody that worked there. I don't know. I just came in and picked up a part. Question. Yeah. Answer. And left. Question. Okay. Or even if it was the same guy the 3 times you've been there? Answer. No. I couldn't really tell you that. Question. Okay. Tell me what you know, and I don't want you to do that. I don't want to do that to you. Tell me what you have read or what you have learned, what you may know about Brendan Dassey from the newspaper or the TV. Answer. For the most part, just that he was involved in the crime. I didn't really read through a whole lot on it. I pretty much just go through the sports section and stuff like that. But, I read over, read a paragraph or so. Then just like I said, turn the page with just a loss of interest. But I would say just mostly that he was just involved. Question. Answer. In the entire thing. Question. Did you get a sense of any of the gruesome details? Answer. Not a lot, no. Question. Okay. And what does Dassey have to do with Stephen Avery's case in your mind? What's the connection, if any? Answer. Well, I would say if he was involved in the crime, I would say he would have everything to do with it. Question. If he, who he? Answer. I would say, what is his name? Dassey? Question. Yeah. Answer. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his first name was. Question. Brendan. Answer. Brendan, yeah. I would say if from what I have read in the newspaper that he was involved, I would say he would be involved with the entire crime from what I have known. Question. Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I understand what you are getting this from the papers and the TV. I got that. But do I hear you saying that based on what has been reported to you about Brendan, that it's more likely that Stephen Avery is guilty? Answer. I would say one would tend to believe that, yes. Question. And why? Why would you tend to believe that? Answer. Because I would say that's pretty much what they had said in the newspapers. Question. Answer. That's what they had. How can I say this? He admitted to participating in the crime and that they were both involved in it. Question. Do you have a sense that, a 16 or 17-year-old like Brendan Dassey would not have admitted to the crime if he didn't do it? Answer. I wouldn't see why he would admit to it if he didn't do it. Question. If you heard evidence about or the lawyers made the argument about why someone might confess to something he didn't do, is that something you would be able to listen to, fairly consider? Answer. I would say I could listen to it fairly, yes. Question. But it sort of strikes you as... Answer. It strikes me as odd. Question. Odd? Answer. Yes. Question. Sure. What do you make of the fact that Stephen Avery is here, that he is sitting in the defendant's chair? Answer. He was asked to be here. I don't really make anything of it. I would expect him to be here. Question. Does it suggest he probably did something wrong? Answer. I would say people think that he did something wrong. I wouldn't want to go and say that he did. That is not really my decision and shouldn't be my opinion right now. But I would say he is here for a reason. Question. Yeah. And I mean, it is sort of your opinion that we're after now. And it's the good thing about this is, I mean, you're being really candid about that. And that's helpful. And you will, you would be told if you were a juror that Stephen Avery is presumed innocent. Answer. Exactly. Question. Starts presumed innocent and he remains presumed innocent unless and until the state could prove him guilty. Answer. And that's a very difficult thing to do. Yes. Question. Yeah, it is. It is a hard thing to do. And given, what you have read and thought about the case, you are not 100% sure that you could do that, but you would try? Answer. I would say that would be yes. I would say that would be the case. Yes. Question. And I feel like I'm putting words in your mouth, so I want to stop doing that. But, answer. No, that's all right. Question. Okay. Have you seen or heard anything really recently in the paper or on the answer? No, I haven't. Question. The TV about this? Answer. No. Question. Why? Answer. I was told not to read the newspaper, not watch the news if it pertained to that. Question. Okay. And before you were told that, were you still tuning in? Answer. If something was on, I probably watched a couple of minutes of it. But not to my knowledge, I haven't really gone out and ran to the TV to try and watch it or anything like that. Question. Rented a TV? Answer. Yeah, I haven't really followed it strongly. Question. Yeah. Answer. It's just something that was on. Question. And since you were told not to, you have obeyed that? Answer. Since I was told not to, I didn't read the newspaper or anything like that, or didn't watch the news. Question. Let me get a feel for when it is you stopped. Have you heard anything about a blood vial? Answer. Yes. Question. And that's got some role? Answer. Yeah, something about it was planted and this and that. I forgot all about that. Question. Okay, but that. Answer. That did jog my memory, yeah. Question. Okay. A related topic on whether you really can presume Stephen Avery innocent would be the choice whether he testifies or not. And I mean, do you think basically most fair people want to hear both sides of a story? Answer. Definitely they would want to hear both sides. Questions. And how about you? Answer. Yes, I would definitely want to hear both sides. Question. Okay. Do you? Do you understand that in America, if you are charged with a crime, you can do either of two things? You can choose to testify and you'd be able to sort of be like any other witness. Answer. Question. We do have a right to testify when we're accused of a crime in this country, even though we're the person who's got to, Answer. Okay. Question. Might want to be saving our own skin. And then also, you have a right not to testify. And the jurors get told that they can't consider that in any way in deciding whether the state's proved the person guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Were you familiar with those two basic notions? Answer. No. Question. Okay. If the judge were to tell you at the end of the case, and I don't know what words he would use, but if he were to tell you that you may not consider the fact that Mr. Avery did not testify as any evidence of guilt or in deciding the case, is that an instruction you could follow? Answer. I would do what he asked me to do, yes. Question. And would you do it happily or willingly as opposed to, I have to? Attorney Fallon. I'm going to object to that question. The court. I'm going to allow it. Mr. Nelesen. Could you repeat that? Question. Sure. Would you do that, willingly and without reluctance, or would you do it because I'm doing it because this is my duty to do it? Answer. I would say there would be some reluctance. Question. Okay. Do you think it would be an easy decision for a person accused to make whether to testify or not on his own behalf? Answer. I don't think so. Question. Why not? Answer. I'm not exactly sure. I just don't think it would be a difficulty. Question. You don't think it would be difficult, or you don't think it would be easy? Answer. I don't think it would be difficult, but I don't really understand what would all be involved. Question. Mm-hmm. Do you figure that Mr. Buting and I might have some input on that? Opinions that we would offer him? Answer. I would say, yeah, that's your job. Question. Right. And let me see if you would agree with this. If you are the defendant and you take the witness stand, some people on the jury may be saying, well, of course he's denying it. He doesn't want to get convicted. He's the one with everything at stake. And on the other hand, if you don't take the witness stand, jurors might be saying, well, if he didn't do anything wrong, why didn't he just get up there and tell us? An innocent guy would have nothing to hide. Do you see the sort of dilemma? Answer. Exactly. Question. There. And in the end, because you are not going to be able to get into his head or my head in that decision-making process. Answer. Mm-hmm. Question. I would need to be comfortable that you really would and could live with the judge's instruction that if he testifies, he's like any other witness. If he doesn't testify, you can't consider that as any evidence of his guilt. Answer. I would say I could do that, yes. Question. You told us in your jury questionnaire that, I forget exactly how you put it, but it was pretty good that, I'm terrible at math. Answer. Yeah, I am. Question. That's exactly how you put it. This case on both sides may involve a certain amount of scientific evidence and testimony about scientific evidence, collection of evidence, testing of evidence in certain ways. Answer. Mm-hmm. Question. People who do that for a living and have some expertise in, whatever, ballistics or DNA or whatever it might be. Answer. Mm-hmm. Question. And I don't mean to suggest that you would require a jury full of mathematicians, but is that the sort of testimony something that you anticipating as finding boring or interesting, or what do you think? Answer. I would say it would be interesting. Question. Why? Answer. Probably for the fact that it's something that I don't know about and I like to learn new things. Question. Mm-hmm. Answer. Whether I'm good at them or not, I like to learn new things and I think it would be interesting. Answer. And And what if there were, let's say, two or more experts and they weren't in complete agreement, or they were even in disagreement about the meaning of certain things or what certain findings were? How would you sort that out if this is all new to you? Answer. I would say that each person has their own opinion, their own views of how it would be, and I can't really answer how I would actually sort that out. Question. But you would listen to both? Answer. Oh, definitely, yes. Question. And then weigh them? And answer. And make a decision, I guess, yes. Question. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me just check with Mr. Buting and see if he thinks I have missed anything. Answer. Okay. Question. I did miss something. Answer. Okay. Question. I realise David Flamel is just your friend. Answer. Yes. Question. Down the street. But I want to explore police officers a little bit more with you. There will be a number of police officers or law enforcement officers who testify in this case from different agencies and departments. Answer. Mm-hmm. Question. And there was a question on the questionnaire about this. You will probably be told that a law enforcement officer who testifies is considered like any other witness. Answer. Right. Question. And do you think in your experience and in your belief, is a police officer less likely to lie under oath other than more people might be? Answer. I would say, yeah. Question. Why? Answer. I would say they are more involved with the law and I think they probably would take it more seriously than an average person. Question. Okay. And that said, setting aside RoboCop movies, do you agree that law enforcement officers are human like the rest of us? Answer. Definitely, yes. Question. Imperfect, I guess, like the rest of us? Answer. Yes. Question. make mistakes like the rest of us? Answer, yes. Question, have personal motives or wants and wishes just like the rest of us? Answer, yes. Question, so I don't hear you saying that a police officer could never lie under oath. You just think it's probably less likely than comparing him or her to the average Joe on the street. Answer, yes. Question, would you at least consider the possibility, be open to, and listening for the possibility that a police officer, a law enforcement officer, might have a reason to shade the truth or not remember something accurately? Answer, if that's what I was asked to do, then that would be what I would have to do. Question, okay, there would be some resistance to that idea or... Answer, I would say yes. Question, and in putting together all the evidence that you would hear, since Mr. Avery is saying he is not guilty? Answer, Question, do you think that he, or we for that matter, ought to have shown you who did kill Teresa Holbach? Answer, I would think that would be a good thing, yeah. Question, okay, sure, it would be a good thing. Do we have to do that in order to convince you that Stephen Avery didn't? Answer, I would say yes. Attorney Strang, all right, I think I'm done. Thank you very much. Voir dire examination by the court. Question. Mr. Nelesen, I have got some follow-up questions for you. I take it from a number of your answers that you don't come into court today being familiar with many of the rules that apply in a criminal case. Answer. No, I don't. Question. I want to follow up, for example, on Mr. Strang's last series of questions. Answer. Question. For one thing, in a criminal case, the defendant is not obligated to prove his guilt or his innocence. The state has to prove that he is guilty before a jury can return a guilty verdict. Answer. Correct. Question. Do you understand that? Answer. Yes, I do. Question. That means that a defendant that does not have to convince the jury who might have done it if it wasn't the defendant. The state has to prove that the defendant did it and prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. Answer. Now I understand, yes. Question. Likewise, I think you testified that you had read some things about the case and based on what you had read, you thought it appeared the defendant was guilty, but that if the court instructed you that you could put those feelings aside, you could follow that instruction. Answer. Yes. Question. And that, in fact, would be the court's instruction. Over the course of the 6-week trial, the jury is going to hear a lot more about this case than has been in the news media. Sometimes information in the news media isn't accurate. Answer. Yes. Question. But in any event, the jury that is selected will have to agree to base the decision only on the evidence in the court and ignore everything else. If you're selected as a juror, do you feel you can do that? Answer. I would like to think that I could do that, yes. Or no answer, that's tough. I would say yes. Question. Is there something specific that gives you pause in answering that question? Answer. Definitely, everything that I have read. Question. And when you say everything that you have read, you will probably hear some of the things they have read in court, but you are going to hear a number of those items disputed as well. Answer. That's true. Question. Will you be able to evaluate the evidence as it comes into court as it is introduced at the trial in making your decision? Answer. Yes. Question. And will you be able to base your decision only on that evidence and not on anything you might have read before? Answer. Yes. Question. You feel if I instruct you to do that, you can do that? Answer. Yes. The court. All right. At this time, we'll have the clerk escort you from the courtroom. Attorney Strang, may I ask the court? All right, just a second. Go ahead. Attorney Strang, I don't know if counsel has a follow-up, but I do have one. Voir dire examination by Attorney Strang. Question. Putting it all together, do you want to be on this jury? Answer. Do I want to be? No. Question. Why? Answer. It's a very big decision, whatever the decision would be, is a lot for a person to live with. That, in fact, financial issues is a difficult situation to deal with as well. So to answer your question, do I want to be? No. Attorney Strang, thank you. The Court. Mr. Fallon, do you have anything else? Attorney Fallon. No verbal response. The Court. Very well. Linda, you may escort Mr. Nelesen from the courtroom. Wherein the juror is excused.